who are working here, they are mostly housewives. Okay, and they work from 9 till about 4:30 in the afternoon, and then so once this thing has been taken care, and then the plantation is taken, then we kind of take it, with our own vehicle or with the vehicle of the of the nursery guys to the field, and where the plantation has been taken care of. So there are kind of a lot of pre-project work which needs to be done. The pit digging, the pit kind of needs to be kind of matured and stuff like that. So I think the whole idea is how you can be able to kind of also create some sort of a livelihood in the nursery making. So that's one of the objective which we're trying to kind of see.
These are relatively poorer parts of the of this region because they are very near to the forest. There is not much scope for income generation. There's a lot of crop depredation by animals, so even agriculture is not very profitable in these landscapes. So what we also want to do with the disruption that COVID caused, we also thought out that maybe there's enough scope for these people because they're disconnected from the markets, from the urban centers, the marketplaces, because they have available land in their near about their homesteads. So we encourage that they do vegetable planting, adopting more sustainable farming practices, doing more diversified set of crops rather than just sticking to the paddy and jute, which is the mainstay of these areas. So agriculture since it's a very labor intensive thing, it takes a lot of effort, and with no manpower that will also falling into disrepair. So we thought maybe we can come up with a carbon project here, with tree plantation, carbon credits being a source of money to the community, a source of activity and livelihood to the community, as well as sort of unite the community behind this idea of carbon markets and the financing opportunities it offers. That was the whole idea. And now we have managed to do some plantations in this particular village.
January, February, March, April, May. So 5 months is basically the timeline by which we need to kind of achieve this another 600,000
saplings
of 11 varieties.
Of 11 native varieties. And then it is going into 2,000 hectares. Is that correct?
500 hectares.
500 hectares for this year.
Can you describe a little bit more about the pilots?
Across the district here, across this district and the immediately southern district of Kuch Bihar, this is Alipurduar district, we have chosen some 50 odd beneficiaries for doing this plantation, carbon plantation, tree plantation with the aim of carbon sequestration across about 35 hectares. So the whole idea of doing the pilot was understanding the logistics, the costs involved, what works, what doesn't work, what type of fencing will work, what type of fencing will not work, what type of what are the social dynamics of doing a plantation which takes the land off the table for other uses for 20 years.
In those areas, when you say you have done the pilot, means you have already talked to the communities around that.
Those all those focus group discussions, participatory appraisal of the lands and the livelihoods and the pros cons of doing forestry versus agriculture. Those discussions have had in much of these villages that constitute these 2,500 hectares apiece in each of these districts.
If the communities are interested, there is an opportunity to diversify their economic pathways.
Exactly.
And unless the communities are willing to participate, and if we can empower them through these mechanisms like enabling them to have nurseries to support the plantations over here. You talked about the nutri gardens, like we spoke to
crop
the field style, crop diversification. If we can bring that, and on top of that, if we can bring alternate livelihood mechanisms through alternates from fuel wood.
I'm seeing some birds flying in the horizon, and I'm thinking of biodiversity credits as they go through this ecosystem and livelihood.
Biodiversity is possible because once we create these deforested patches, I'm sure it will become habitat for birds, small mammals,
insects.